Communications Incorporated. You're watching Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. Tonight, very exciting show. I got two lovely women here tonight sharing the desk with me, and we're going to be talking about a show, a trade show, Guam Expo Trade Show that's happening starting tomorrow, and also not just that, but we have a guest here that'll be talking, I guess, a seminar type thing, right?
Correct.
It's going to happen tomorrow. We have from GEDA, the Industry Development Specialist, we have Natalia Faculo.
Yes,
How you doing?
sir.
Good evening.
I'm doing fantastic.
And we have, of course, Elise Erickson, and you're going to be the guest speaker tomorrow
Yes,
at
sir.
the start of this Guam Expo Trade Show. Natalia, you were in my radio show last week. Tell us about the inception of this trade show, because it sounds very exciting. Off-island guests here to talk about small business.
Thank you, Jess. The Guam Economic Development Authority, along with our partner, the Guam Small Business Development Center, is hosting the very first of its kind, the Guam Export Trade Show. We're calling it the GETS 2012. It is a 3-day event, and it will be held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel on September 20th through the 22nd. The first couple of days is a 2-day training, and that's going to be conducted by Miss Elise herself. It's called the Riddle of the Exporter. And the final day, the jump off, is the Guam Export Trade Show. And there we'll have quite a few companies exhibiting their and displaying their products and services to local buyers as well as off-island buyers.
Now, please, I mean, this was what got me when you got on the show. I said, Guam Export Trade Show. What product are we exporting? I mean, it's such a small island. We're looking at what can we do to export? How can we be self-sufficient and not relying on, imports? What do we have to export?
Well, actually, off the top of your head, when you think of exporting, you think of a product that is shipped out.
Sure.
But the Small Business Administration goes according to the definition. It is products and services purchased by a foreign buyer. Now, it's not your typical just product. Again, it's a service, so it's multifaceted. There's so many things that can be accounted for, and Elise could go into some of the products and services that could be exported.
So basically, if this show goes in syndication in other countries, it's part of an export, right?
Certainly, certainly. That's anything that's unique, and that's what we tried to promote. My passion is small business, and they're the ones that continually come up with unique products. And if you have a unique product, it has export potential.
Now, my understanding, this is your second trip to Guam, and at the same capacity that you came in the first time?
Same capacity. I came last year at the invitation of the Guam Small Business Development Center. Did the training, which is the riddle of the exporter, and they have worked really hard and developed their resources, and they've had like 4 success stories since I left. And that is really, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Now let me ask you this, because there are some things, there are business models, there are business templates out there and all that maybe work in maybe bordering communities. We are way out here in the Western Pacific. We don't have bordering communities in regards to how can we network with maybe a bordering state. But what do we have here as your second time around here? What do we have that you say it's unique, that you see a potential for growth or export?
Well, any product that you have, and Guam has its own unique history, its own unique feel and products. Those are the things that you can't get anywhere but here. And those would be the things that would come to mind first as far as exporting. Again, I know we've talked about, Casey talks about a lot, that tourism is the #1 export, because what happens, people come here, they walk away with their in hand these unique goods. But services are also something very unique, and I'm a big believer in small business, the uniqueness, but then capitalizing on your brand. So if you develop your own brand right here, then that brand has its own popularity, and at that point can be exported to different countries.
So basically, the country in this sense, Guam, you have to have a brand, basically. Do you have to have a national brand, a company brand? How do you market in general, export, you know, a Guam product as opposed to maybe a company product?
Well, what you first have to do is you have to have a viable product, okay? Whether that is an actual product that's unique and can be adapted to foreign markets, or if you have a service that has its unique qualities, and those unique qualities are wanted by other people. What I'm saying is that what you want to do is create your own brand around that. That's its own kind of protection. That's your own intellectual property there. And that's what I mean when I create your brand.
Okay. So, Natalia, going back to the brand, okay, with that, and of course branding is, you know, we talked about, I mean, we hear GVB, Guam Visitors Bureau, we hear GEDA in branding Guam in general. How, again, are we working with the Guam brand to be able to work with, say, small entrepreneurs to be able to work in conjunction with a Guam brand, and so with that noticeable or very highly advertised brand, that will have a, I guess, a ripple effect to a company or a service that may be started here, because with that Guam brand stamp of approval, you know, that must be a good service or a good product from that particular destination.
We actually have the Guam products still, and we're trying to encourage those companies out there that have their unique product to get that brand on their product.
That's also with a service as well, right? I mean,
yes.
the Guam product seal can also be a seal to a service as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it was just moved over to GEDA just recently, so we're looking to develop the program and offer those services to these local companies. And we highly encourage, you know, your company and your product to get out there with the Guam product still, because then you know it's truly authentic and it is a Guam-based product.
Okay. The riddle of the exporter, without revealing, you know, too much on it, tease us about it.
Well, there actually is a real riddle.
Okay.
And it goes like this. I'm a US PPI with a product that's an EAR 99, not on the CCL, and going to somewhere not on the CCC, and not to an SDN. Am I okay? Do I contact the DOC or the BIS? And do I need an HTS or an ECCN to file my EEI with the AES? Do I ship it FCA or CIP? And just to make sure I CMA, cover my ass. Do I use an LC? You tell me. So it really, when I first started getting into exporting, and my biggest thing is that people are fearful. It's so big out there, and that's how I came up with the riddle. But I will tell you, at the end of 2 days, I started with the riddle and I end with the riddle. At the end of the second day, everyone in the class can answer that riddle.
Can answer that.
Can answer that riddle.
They can answer the riddle, but can they repeat that riddle?
No, they cannot repeat it. What's exciting for me is that it is conquerable, and so there's an 8-step process that I show people how to do that is a repeatable process that they can do time after time after time, and they can, it's not so frightening anymore, and there's so many services out there, particularly with GEDA and the Pacific Small Business Development Center. All I want to do is show people that it's possible, and just consider it. Just take that first step.
Now, let me ask you this. I mean, I think you already answered my question. That take that first step. Now, say I'm thinking of opening up a business, maybe service oriented.
Okay.
I may have a business plan. Not quite sure whether that's really what is needed. Is this workshop a helpful tool for me, or do I have to be established already and already got my loans in place? I mean, when is this workshop useful for, say, the entrepreneur, whether the potential entrepreneur, already established business, or someone who is wanting to grow? But I tell you what, hold on to that thought, okay? Because we're going to take a quick break.
Great.
Be right back.
Thanks.